Hey there, my name is Andy Hollowell. I'm a licensed clinical therapist, and I hope you find this video helpful.
Is major depressive disorder considered a disability? To fully answer this question, we must recognize that the concept of disability carries different meanings and connotations in different social contexts. Some have seen disability as a disqualifier or less than. However, many people with disabilities claim it proudly as part of their identity. And most of us may experience disability at some point during our lives. It serves as an important legal term for those seeking protection or assistance from the government. It can also be a connection between people in the larger disability community. So the short answer is yes. Major depressive disorder, or MDD, is a psychiatric disability that's protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. However, not everyone with depression meets the legal criteria for disability as laid out in the Americans with Disabilities Act. Likewise, applying for disability benefits doesn't define you. It also doesn't determine your worth or capabilities in other facets of your life. People can experience varying degrees of depression with different symptoms throughout their lifetimes. Today, I'll cover what disability means and the pros and cons of claiming disability status. I'll also cover how treatment for depression can improve your ability to live a full life that's as ordinary or extraordinary as you want it to be. People with disabilities, as we think of them today, have not always had legal protection from discrimination. The disability rights movement still fights to secure people's rights when their differences keep them from participating in an ordinary part of life. Depression can definitely be a disability that comes with impairments or major limitations to life activities. For example, say a person functions best later in the day because of their antidepressant medication, or they need a flexible schedule to accommodate an intensive outpatient program, or IOP. They might not see themselves as disabled in any other social situation. Still, they might have to apply for disability status with the government to protect themselves against discrimination, which could leave them jobless. About 18% of the US workforce reports having a mental health condition in any given month. That means psychiatric disabilities like depression are some of the most common types of disability the ADA covers. So when do mental health disorders become disabilities? When it comes to disability, mental health disorders are often stigmatized. The stigma can create additional challenges for people who are seeking support and accommodations for their mental health condition. There are plenty of valid ways that people with disabilities like depression or major depressive disorder choose to identify themselves or not. In our complex modern lives, it often depends on the situation and the people involved. If your depression is interfering with your ability to find and keep a job, housing, food, or social support, it's important to take some time to reflect on what the word disability means to you. In 1977, disability rights organizer Kitty Cohn said that the month-long sit-in at the UN building in San Francisco was the first time that, quote, disability really was looked at as an issue of civil rights rather than an issue of charity or rehabilitation at best, pity at worst, close quote. That says a lot about how people with disabilities have been treated in their communities, not only by authorities and healthcare providers, but also by people they interact with every day, like friends and family. To the US government, a person becomes disabled when they have a medical condition that lasts at least 12 months. It must impact one or more areas of life and make it quite impossible for that person to earn money and support themselves by engaging in any sort of work. People who pass these narrow criteria can receive Social Security benefits and medical insurance. So let's go over how treatment can help people with major depressive disorder. The American Psychological Association, or APA, recognizes major depressive disorder as a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. In the most technical sense, a psychiatrist uses the American Psychological Association's guidelines to make a clinical diagnosis. Someone in an acute depressive episode will likely have a hard time performing at work. People can also make a full recovery from depression and then experience relapses. The extent and frequency of one person's symptoms will be unique and different from other people with the same diagnosis. Getting to know yourself and how your depression manifests should help you determine whether you think of it as a disability. And if so, under what circumstances? Discussing your symptom-related challenges with a therapist can help you better understand triggers and develop coping skills and behaviors. For instance, feelings of unworthiness, slowed thinking and speaking, or a lack of energy and motivation. While one of the ultimate goals of treatment is to manage those symptoms effectively, of course, it takes time to heal. If you want to improve your own well-being, it's important to get treatment and support as you address your depression. At Lightfully, we understand you need a lot of support to do everyday things with major depressive disorder. We offer support through a whole person-centered care process as you learn the skills you'll need to stay well and advocate for yourself. Lightfully's compassionate, licensed clinicians offer the highest level of evidence-based, clearly defined, data-driven care available today. Change is possible. When you're ready to take the first step, reach out to our admissions team. We'll take the next steps together towards the fullest, brightest version of you.